Hello everybody and welcome to this edition of Positive Playtime. It is our puppy focus week, so this edition is all about puppy play, puppy training and just different ways you can really engage with your puppy through interactive play. You've sent in some questions and I'm going to go ahead and answer these for you. This question is on puppy recall. So I'd recommend having a specific recall word. With all my dogs, their recall word has come. I tend to not use their name just because I know a lot of people do, but just because you use their name too frequently. So this Nero, I go, Nero, we're going out now. I talk to him too often. Nero, sit, Nero. As you can tell, he gets all excited when I say his name. But my point is you use that to grab their attention. That isn't necessarily a command. So just shouting their name doesn't necessarily mean I want you to return to me. In terms of recall, keep the rate of reinforcement really high. Set them up to succeed. Practice recall at home first and then advance to your garden. Maybe to a quiet park where you know there's not too many distractions. When rewarding, I use a mixture of food and toy just to keep the dog guessing. Sometimes they get one treat, sometimes they get 5 treats, sometimes they get a play. Just really mix it up. In terms of toys, I absolutely love the sheepskin chaser for this. So this is a bungee version. I use this mainly because my dogs are herdy, my dogs have a strong chase drive and they find it really motivating. So the long handle means I can go the opposite direction and drag this behind me and the dog then comes in and chases and grabs it. This makes it really exciting for them. And then once they return to me, we engage in a game of tug and then I let them go again. Teaching a recall as well. Don't always just recall them at the end of the walk. They will learn that. They're not silly. They will know, oh, I'm going back on the lead and I'm going in the car now and I'm going home. Try and do it randomly on walks. Don't always put the lead on. Sometimes call them back, put the lead on for a few seconds, let them go again. Sometimes just call them back, have fun, and they can go do the one afterwards. Just mix it up. Try not to be too predictable. Your dogs are smart, your dogs will know, and keep the rate of reinforcement high. Teaching a puppy leave command. So I wouldn't teach this any different to how I teach an adult dog, exactly the same. So the first point is teach it when your dog is calm. Don't be tempted to do this at the end of a tug session, at the end of, say, a long game of fetch. Simply because the excitement of the game builds and builds and builds and the arousal levels keep creeping up and it gets to a point where the dog or puppy is so excited, they almost too excited to focus basically, and they're not going to want the game to end. So to avoid the puppy getting it wrong, you getting frustrated, do it when the dog is calm. So what I do is I present the toy, I say get it, as the dog grabs hold of it, let them have it for maybe a couple of seconds, that's it, and then I say leave it. So most dogs will go when the toy goes dead, so you're not pulling back on it. Once the toy goes dead, they will drop it. For some dogs, they might be a bit more stubborn and they will hold on to it because they don't want the game to end. So for those, I keep one hand on the handle of the toy and the other on their collar, not pulling back on the dog, just hold my hand there to stop them pulling the toy and self-reinforcing even though the game's finished. This is probably easier to demo, so I'm going to demo this quickly for you and then talk about reinforcement after. So I'm going to do a really quick demonstration with my Kelpie Kai. I'm not going to lie, obviously this isn't his first go at having to leave a toy. This is something we've really practiced, something he actually really struggled with because his arousal levels are always quite sky high when he's playing. So this is something we've really built up to. So, present the toy, get it. So I'd let them have the toy literally just for a couple seconds, so you should have been asking for your leave about now. Obviously I haven't, just because I'm talking. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to pretend he's a pretty persistent tugger, which he is to some extent. So, I put one hand on the collar, leave. Good boy. Get it. And then a super snappy reward. You can either use toys or treats for this. So I use toy and re-engage in the game of tug because that's what he enjoys. Notice I'm not really flicking the toy around, really tugging back because he's finding this rewarding enough as it is, and if I get really stuck into the game with him, like I said before, the excitement levels will be too high. Leave. Leave. Good boy. Get it. See that? You can already tell his leave wasn't as quick as the first time because he's getting more excited. Leave. Get it. So I'll do it one more time now, and then I'm going to give him a ending command. I almost said the word then. But you'll see what the command is at the end. Leave. Finished. So I always give a end of game cue. That way he won't continue to pester me for the toy or bark because he's frustrated. He understands that's the end cue. But that's how I teach it with a puppy. Obviously, you may find to begin with treats are easier to reward them again, just because it helps keep the arousal levels low. He's done it a few times, so obviously we use the tug as the reward for him. Yeah, so that's basically a leave cue for either a dog or a puppy. So we have a really good question about introducing tug to a puppy. So some puppies may come and have a brilliant play drive straight away, which is absolutely fantastic. So you can almost get started straight away. But for some, they may take a little bit more encouragement. So there are different hints and tips you can try to engage your puppy. The first I would suggest is never shove the toy straight in their face. That's really going to be really off-putting. So no going, here puppy, get the toy. That's not going to work. So try thinking a bit like prey. So move the toy along the floor in front of the puppy. So maybe go slow to begin with, and then a little fast bit, and then slow again. This fast movement and variation and speed will help to grab your puppy's attention. So hopefully you should see your puppy eyeing this up. They may not pounce and get stuck in straight away, but that's a really, really good start. So build this up and don't put too much pressure on your puppy. You could also try, if your puppy's a little bit reluctant to play close up, try standing side on and wiggling the toy to the side but facing the opposite direction. Some puppies lack a little bit of confidence and they won't want to play head on to you. They can find it a little bit intimidating, for want of a better word. It's just a little bit full on playing face to face. So to begin with, you might have to stand side on and engage them that way. Also, maybe try something with a longer handle like a chaser so they can play at a distance too. Finally, my last sort of suggestion would be, if you've got a foodie dog that's maybe more food driven at the moment than toy, it's not the end of the world, you can work on this. This is something I actually use for my dog here, Kai. He, believe it or not, although he loves tug now, he was not toy orientated at all. He liked a ball, but that was about it, but a ball wasn't interactive enough, so I really wanted him to start tugging. So we used one of these. This is a bungee food bag. So it's got it's like a little pocket, so you can put the food inside. We used really strong smelling dried sprats, mainly because the odour's really strong. So once enclosed inside, he could still smell it. So what he'd do is he'd sort of mouth this to begin with, and as he started to grip it, I'd then slowly start putting tension on the toy too and building it up that way. This worked really well for Kai, and it has for a lot of other foodie dogs, so that might also be something to try. As with anything, build it up gradually, and once they get into it, start putting a bit of tension on the toy. Don't rag the dog around to begin with. Sort of match their tension, match their enthusiasm, and build it up, and then you'll have plenty of fun using interactive toys together, hopefully. So yeah, give all that a go and see how you get on. So we've had an email in to ask what different games can they play with their puppy. I could list quite a few, but I'm just going to list 3. So the first one, really obvious, of course I'm going to say it, tug of war. You can build different elements into this. You can also use it as a training reward. So when your dog does something right, reward them with a toy instead of treats. You can add different elements in, so maybe use a chaser and build some chase drive into that as well. Mix and match different furs, different textures, see what they really like so you can get your ultimate training toy for your puppy. Another one I really like is hide and seek. This is better when you've got a puppy with 2 people, mainly because most puppies don't have a solid weight and you don't want to be thinking about the weight. This is just about having fun for now. So get one person to restrain the puppy, hold the puppy while the other person goes and hides. It doesn't need to be difficult. The whole point of this is the puppy coming to you. It's sort of building the value where you are, building proximity, and just providing some enrichment really. So it doesn't matter where you hide. It can be really easy to begin with. Your puppy can see you walk off and hide behind the sofa, that's fine. The other person lets the puppy go, you call the puppy, they hear your voice, they run to you, and then play some tug at the end of that. So get really stuck in and reward your puppy for coming to find you. Obviously, this is a great game because you can progress the levels quite easily. So make the hiding places harder. When your puppy gets older, maybe ask for a wait rather than being restrained. When you're hiding, first of all, let them see where you go and then build up to where they don't see which direction you head. And also, to begin with, you start by calling the puppy and the puppy comes to you, whereas as they get older, there can just be a find it or search command and they have to find you, but you don't call them after that. So there's really nice ways you can build on that. Third game is the clam. So I use sort of scent work find it games. The clam is sort of similar to hide and seek but without people. So this is clam. It's a food-based toy. So you pop treats inside, close it up, and when the dog finds the toy, they can stick their nose in and get the treat out. So I do this. I hide it around the house, different places, build it up, and the dog goes, searches and finds it. You can also maybe build a noise box, which is a cardboard box full of rattly stones, bits of cardboard, bits and bobs like that, and pop this inside there. So that's a good confidence building game, getting them used to working around different noises. When they go in, obviously, they can go get the treats out. So yeah, those are my top 3 games: tug of war, hide and seek, and find it with the clam. So teething and chewing, this was an inevitable question. So we've had a question asking how play can help with that. So as puppies grow and develop, their adult teeth come through and they lose their baby teeth, much like with people. It's a natural urge to want to then chew things, but you obviously don't want your sofa being chewed or your shoes. So by playing tug, it can actually give them an outlet to grip and use their mouth in a correct manner, if you like. Obviously don't let them chew the tug toys, but it's got that motion and gripping and pulling that they really just want to naturally do. As well as that, if you're not playing interactively with them, provide them with lots of sort of suitable chew toys as well, but obviously supervise them when they have these. So obviously we're all about interactive play here at Tug-E-Nuff, but I just wanted to talk to you a few reasons why I think it's so beneficial for puppies. So the first reason, we're all about positive reinforcement here, so rewarding your puppy when it does good things and training that way. A lot of people tend to use treats. I still use treats, that's fine, but I like to mix it up and add in play with that as well. So it keeps the puppy guessing, they never know what's coming. The second reason I really like interactive play with puppies is it helps build confidence and also body awareness. So as they're playing, using their mouths and legs to tug, it really helps them build balance and body awareness as well as confidence. 3 is building a bond. So obviously you've got this beautiful, gorgeous, probably about 8-week-old puppy, you bring them home, they don't know you, you don't know them. Obviously you're gonna want to start training, but before you do any of that, it's sort of building bond, getting them used to you. Play is a really good way of doing that, especially interactively. So when you're throwing a ball and playing fetch, your dog's constantly running away from you. Yes, it might bring it back, but playing tug of war, games like that where they're up close, that can really help build the bond and get them used to being near you and focusing back on you. So that's the end of our puppy focused Q&A. I hope that answered some of your questions, and we appreciate you dropping in. As always, if you do have any other questions or if you want some personal toy recommendations, feel free to drop us an email or a Facebook message. Thanks for tuning in.